I guess I have to add us to the stage. I guess that's something I didn't know.
Yes.
Now, hopefully that music turns down a little bit because now I have to go figure out how I got that music on. Do you like it?
I do. I was behind the scenes here, moving and grooving to
I'm
your
just
sound.
sitting here. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to
Welcome. Let me get
the Tracy show. Today we have Fern Alcon on, and Fern is going to tell us all about meditation, yoga. I found Fern in her studio in Delray Beach. Fern, do you want to say hello to everybody here?
We do. Is the music going to go off?
So I'm going to see if I can try to turn it down.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Well, welcome everybody. I am excited to be here as we figure out the music end, although it is quite lovely in the background.
It's lovely.
Thank you, Tracy, for having me on your magnificent podcast. I'm really honored and grateful to be here to speak to everybody. We have a lot of the same friends and acquaintances, and hopefully what I share will have an impact on everybody. I am right now in my studio. Dancing Lion Studio is a yoga studio, a healing arts center, a wellness center here in downtown Delray Beach. It is a beautiful space. But not only do we offer yoga, meditation, and other things here, but I do have a whole virtual world. So every class that I teach here, or our teachers teach here, we do offer on Zoom. And I have a whole coaching world that I offer virtually, which I'll share a little bit about. But for those of you that are nearby, we have a beautiful space. It's a very heart-centered, philosophical type of yoga. And I'm proud to be an owner here. What's interesting is I opened just a few months before COVID, which was not the best time. So but July, we're here 5 years, and it just blows my mind that I've been here 5 years doing this. So I'm thankful for my community and people who have supported me through this time. And I'm really, really glad to have this space. And it is a community. I wanted to share that. That's very important to me, to offer a space for people to come and feel comfortable. And what's great about my studio is you don't need a lot of experience. You can come without any knowledge. It's a very non-judgmental, non-competitive kind of space. So we're unique in that way. And I love the people here. I love the community we built. We do a lot of charity events. I do a lot of special events. This Sunday, we have a Reiki circle and a sound bath. I'm a sound healer. My gong here. So we have that on Sunday. We have beautiful full moon events. It's a school. I lead teacher training. So I actually teach people how to be yoga teachers, meditation teachers. So I run a school. It's a lot. I also lead retreats.
You've got such. I visited your studio this week. Fern said she's been inviting me. We met through friends, and she's been inviting me, and I never would go. And and finally I thought, well, this is something new that I'm going to be offering with the Being Tracy. It's going to be to let you know what's going on around, what businesses that are out there that you need to know about that I've tried and I think are amazing. And so since Fern really wanted to get exposure through Being Tracy, I thought, well, I've got to get over there and see if I can recommend this because it's an endorsement for your studio for me to have you on my show like this. And so I know that all my viewers trust me and trust what I'm going to recommend. So I wanted to go in, and I've got to tell you, it was the most peaceful experience that I've had in a long time. I really couldn't believe it because I've done yoga before, and your yoga was different. Like I've done yoga. I mean, there must be two different kinds of yoga. One is strenuous, right? Is that right?
Yes. So there's vinyasa, which is more athletic, which we do teach here, and is a beautiful practice where it's a more fiery practice. And then what you came to is our yin, which is a more practice of surrender, deeper stretches,
Love
holds, not really standing poses, but
Yeah,
what
the
I'm
other
all
isn't
about,
really for me anymore. The other isn't for
right?
me. I've had too many crashes and accidents and things, and it hurts.
But
But
all of our yoga, all that I teach, because this is, and we'll get into this, is that yoga is not really a practice that's meant to be just physical. I am very deep into the philosophy. People know this. I'm an avid reader, a learner. This is my life's work. And what I know to be true is that yoga is a practice to help us ease our minds and our internal struggles and our suffering in life. And it sounds really deep, and I can go really deep, but just to keep it like, light, we all have fears, we all have doubts, we all have second guessings in our minds, things that prevent us from moving forward. We have had life crises. And the yoga practice is really a beautiful philosophy to help manage what we call the fluctuations of the mind, the stuff that gets in the way of peace. And we walk around, so many people walk around with anxiety or on medications, not to say that if you need it, you should not take it. But how about another offering where you can move your body in a gentle way or not, where you can learn to breathe in a certain way, think in a certain way, understand that you are not your thoughts, and to have ways to move through life with a little more grace, a little more peace, a little more joy. And that's really what my life's work is about, is to bring healing and peace and joy to those around me, and share my life's experiences, my hardships, to be vulnerable in that way. I'm also a coach. So I lead coaching programs where I weave yoga philosophy with modern coaching and a little breath work and a little sound healing and meditation. So you get like a buffet, a smorgasbord of tools to use so that you move through life with a little more grace. Um, I came to this at a very young age. I started dancing when I was 3 years old. I was a trainee with the Martha Graham Company. I would teach tap dancing in South Florida up until COVID. I'm a Broadway caliber tap
a
dancer, which some
dancer.
people don't know. And so I know that movement is really important. It gets the energy out. If you ever saw a dog shake when it gets, you know, excited, or we yawn, or we do things that are naturally get rid of energy. So I do believe in movement. But then, what about, you're just your own thoughts, and how do you manage those? And there are tools to use. Most people say they can't meditate. I just say you haven't learned the right way to do it for you. I am a certified yoga nidra teacher, which is a very specific type of mindful practice.
It's a yoga what
And
teacher? I'm
it's
sorry, I
called
couldn't
yoga
understand.
nidra, Nidra, and it's a type
Okay.
of meditation where you're guided into your subconscious mind. I get into your subconscious mind, where you come to a place of rest that even you cannot even get to in your sleep. You really learn to rest your mind. So these are just all little things that I use in my daily life, um, to help others. And I love the fact that I can use all of the things that I love to help people: the movement, the dance, the I'm also a sound healer, so they call me the rock and roll yogi because I always wanted to be in a rock band.
Oh,
And
really?
so now, yeah, so now I'm a certified sound healer, and I use my bowls and my chimes and chanting, and sometimes I lead these
What
big
did you want to
sound
play
baths.
in a rock band? What did you want to play?
Oh, I don't know. I think just lead guitar and singer. Like put me in with Robert Plant and
I wanted to be a
I'd
singer. I wanted to be a singer as
be
well.
happy. So anyway, I digress. But I, I I feel like I'm chatting a mile a minute because I'm really passionate about this, and it really gives me great joy. I wake up every day so happy and so blessed that I get to do what I love to do, and also help people find that. What is their passion? What are you missing in your life? A lot of people go through hard times and we forget this place of joy. right?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that brings you joy for a lot in your life? So this is part of what I do.
I was gonna
I'm
say, Fern,
invited.
what's your joy? What brings you joy?
I
What's
mean,
your
really, I'm doing it. I literally am doing it. I get to speak all over the world. I'm invited to speak at yoga festivals. I just spoke at the Sedona Yoga Festival, which was amazing. I've done other festivals here, Yoga Fest and other things here. Um, and I have my online platforms. I speak at summits, and I'm here to just share the message that there are ways to go through life with peace in your heart, without fear. You know, you reach a certain point in your life where you have to make a decision, to stop worrying what people think about you, to stop buying into the firmly held beliefs that may not even be true in your own heart or mind. And through some really challenging things in my life, I know that what I offer works.
yeah.
And so it's really, this is my passion. If I didn't have to work or could just stay on a beach and just lounge around, that would drive me crazy, first of all. This is what I'd be doing. I'd be waking up, teaching, getting people to move their bodies, breathe, find ways to look at life a little bit differently. I am doing what I love with all my soul.
Well, Fern, you mentioned you've gone through some difficulties. I was going to ask you
Mhm.
where you began. How did you begin? Does that have something to do with what you've gone through?
Well, I had a pretty great childhood growing up. I grew up in New York City, so it wasn't really that. I've had your normal challenges in life, but I think I've always been interested in the mind, meditation, and helping people. Being a teacher, I taught aerobics for years. I've been doing this my whole life. I taught aerobics, I taught fitness, I was a personal trainer, which is also weird because I'm also a real estate broker and have a business degree. So I've got two things going on here,
Oh, I
but
don't
I
know if I
bring it
knew that.
all.
I don't know if you're a
You
realtor.
didn't know that?
I
No, I'm a
didn't
broker.
know that.
I am a
I'm
broker.
a
I sit
realtor
open a
too. I
brokerage.
didn't know you were.
Yeah. Yeah. So at one time I was doing that a little bit. I was going to open my own little boutique
You
brokerage.
have an active license?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you do.
Um,
Who's your
yes, I'm
license
broker's
with?
license. Uh, United is who I've been with.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, but I don't really, I don't, I just dabble in it now with people that I know personally.
Right.
But as an aside, the point of that is that I bring all my life's experience to what I do. And then I'm going to share a personal reflection. So last year, I won the battle on breast cancer.
Oh
And
my
my
goodness.
community knows this. It was a shock, healthy my whole life, never had anything wrong, which is meaningless to this, but I found it early, had pretty rigorous treatment. Just a
Wow.
year ago was my last treatment in April.
Oh, yay. That's great. Congratulations.
And so through it all, and I like to make it a part of my dialogue, but not as a victim. It's more of an empowering thing.
Right,
And what I learned is when you're faced with something that's so profound, like your mortality is in front of your face right there,
right.
you have to make a choice. And the tools that I use save my life. When you're in that moment of despair, I never said, why me? I said, why not? And I decided at that time to use this experience as well, to shine a light that life can still be good. You can still overcome obstacles. You can switch the narrative in your mind that um, it becomes more profound. Like I say that I see the pristine nature of each day a little bit differently. Not that I wasn't present before, but it does have a profound effect on you. And I do share that in my teachings, just the essence of how to move through with grace something like this. And we all have, whether it's loss or grief, divorce, disease, or losing a business. I work with private clients now who've had all of those things, and
Right.
we figure out a way to find a little self-efficacy and see the good in your days and figure out ways to replicate that rather than dwelling on the heaviness of life, because Lord knows
Right.
that's easy to buy into. And it's not to say that I bypass the hard feelings. It's not this happy-go-lucky Fern all the time, nor should it be for anyone. But how are you going to show up in life? How are you going to choose um, your way through? So this is what I do. I take, I owned the business through COVID. I had to shut down after just a few months. I had to pivot online. I made it work as a business owner. I made it work. So there are ways to know how to dig down deep, to have a positive mindset, to go through life with a little joy in your heart, to not let bad people or people who want to pull you down do that because they will. They will. And
Would
to just
you
have a
say that
little more
that's
grace through life.
Fern? Would you say that's the most difficult thing that you've ever gone through, that you've overcome?
Breast cancer? Yeah. I mean, I've been divorced.
Question. I wanted to find out.
I've had difficult relationships. But that is a very profound thing, right? You know, we're all going to go, not to get that negative or sad, but when you're so vibrant and full of life and then you're faced with something that is so profound and you're battling and you don't feel well and I still ran the studio, I still showed up every day. I think it softens you if you allow it to. It makes you more vulnerable. When you are vulnerable, you connect more deeply with people, and that's where I am at. People want to see a reflection of themselves in you. And as a coach, and as a speaker, and as a teacher, if I can help just one person every day, I've done my job. I've done
Wow,
my
that's
job.
great. Now tell
And
me, do you have any advice for other people going through cancer? Like, how did you beat it? How do you
well, I mean, I caught it early, but I still had to do chemo, radiation, and all of that really nasty stuff. But luckily, I did. First of all, get checked without getting too much off topic. Take care of your health. I mean, I found it early. And also know that, especially someone like me, I really like to ask for help. I'm a doer, I'm a leader. I run leadership programs, I run a business, I'm a mom. I like to help other people. So asking for help was really hard. But I found that people want to, and there's so much love in the world. And when I finally did share it with my community, I was embraced in such a profound way. And I want to give back in that way. I've had women come up to me telling me that they've been afraid to share or, didn't feel comfortable, and now they feel comfortable. And so I guess it's a message that was sent to me in some weird way. I don't know. We can continue with that, but truthfully, my whole life has been really I guess, of service and helping others. And it has gone from, running around teaching fitness classes to launching coaching, and now I do inspirational speaking, and hopefully I've inspired some of our viewers today to want to maybe switch the narrative in your own hearts and minds. You know, a lot of our thoughts aren't even true. We walk
well,
around with
yeah, I
these
mean, like,
narratives.
what would
Mhm.
you say inspires you the most, Fern?
What inspires me the most?
You said
God,
you really want to help people. What
yeah.
inspires you to want to help people through meditation? And
To, well, in all that I do is just to have somebody say to me, wow, you changed my day, or now I see things a little differently, or now I got the job that I always wanted, or the relationship that I always wanted, or finally left a relationship that was not good for them, but they didn't have the nerve or bravery to leave, or just feeling a little more peace in their days to come out of the spiral of constant worry and fear. I have a program called From Fear to Fierce, where I do it online and I help people to move from this narrative I can't, I won't, it's not, it doesn't work for me, or I can't do it, or see past my own limitations to move past that. And I use all the tools that I know, my movement, my mindfulness, my meditation, breath work, good old fashioned journaling. I have a podcast as well.
That
It's
yeah.
called Flourish with Fern. I've only done 2 episodes and put it on hold, but I'm going to be bringing it back this summer, where I help people. It's called Flourish with Fern, and I help people go from languishing to flourishing in all ways. I'm going to be speaking with more people who have done things like use music to help them move through life, or meditation, or even art or design or just modern coaching, however, whatever resonates with you to help you move through life. I mean, there's many, many ways. Um,
Now tell me, how have you and your business developed over the years?
gosh. Well, I came to owning a yoga studio by accident. It was not something I had in my mind. The space came available. My daughter, who's also a trainer and teacher, found it, and I was originally sharing it. And I said, okay, I'll try. And then here I am 5 years later, running a whole community. So that's a lesson in itself, because sometimes we are not present enough to see the door of opportunity, which can be a very pivotal thing in life. And that's something else I teach, how to trust your intuition. That day was so transformative with me. Something in my heart said, let's do this. Usually I would have analyzed it to death, but something said yes. And it was just a divine intervention. I saw the opportunity, the door opened, and that's a lot of us don't really know how to see that, because we're so out of touch with our own hearts and our minds. And I try to get people in touch with that part of them. In yoga, we say that our intuition is a superpower. Just that place of a felt experience. Some of us don't even know how we feel when we wake up in the morning. Like, we don't tap in, and then we expect our partners or people to figure that out, right?
Right.
Which is crazy. But we don't even know. A lot of yoga is that. A lot of meditation is that. A lot of what I do is that. Tapping into who you are, what's resonating in your life, setting boundaries around things that are not working. That's important too.
I
So
felt that in
I
your
think I
class.
went off your question, but
Felt that in your class yesterday. That's what I loved was,
did you
I,
feel that?
yeah, I felt
Hmm.
going in at peace,
Hmm.
and staying focused on what it is that I want in my
Yes.
life. And I
Yes.
loved your commentary as we're going through the meditation. It was
Yes.
just wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've been doing this a long time, so I usually don't really prepare. I feel like the energy in the room, I know this is going to sound very woo to a lot of people, but I download the messaging, and it's so a part of me, how I want to really make people around me feel good, and to just offer, like, call them little nuggets of inspiring words that I know if they resonate with me, they're going to resonate with you. And it's like
Right.
humanity. We're all the same in a lot of ways. We're all insecure. We all want to have love. We all want to feel seen. We all want to have peace. And so, whew, I'm getting emotional. So this is what I do. It's a unique job. As I said, I have a business degree and a business mind, but this has always been my heart. I'm a writer. So I have the flowery words, my daughter says.
What do you write, Fern?
Well, I I write a beautiful weekly newsletter that goes out to thousands of people. My readers know this, but actually, what people don't know is that I am making those into a book. So I'm starting
Oh,
on a journey
book
of writing
publisher
a book.
recommend for you. I've got
And
a great book
oh,
publisher.
good. So it is just a compilation of my little prose and essays that I've offered every week to my readers, and they're inspiring and uplifting. And I weave yoga into real life, these little stories. And so they can resonate with anybody. You know, people sometimes think of yoga as something they kind of see where you get into these weird poses. Sometimes you do, but that's only a small part of it. And that's the way that we teach it here. You can do a physical practice that's just a workout. But what I say is my yoga is a work in. And even my vinyasa classes, which I can be pretty tough. I mean, you work up a sweat for that class, but I still bring a mindfulness, a presence. I get you to be present, to feel how your body feels, to feel empowered by what you can do. Some of these poses are strong. So that mindfulness is still always there.
Now tell me, Fern, you said you mentioned to me personally something
Yeah.
about you travel a lot, and I just wonder how have
Oh,
you found yoga to be in throughout your travels? Like, I'm sure you
okay.
always are doing yoga everywhere you go, right?
Yes. So I have not traveled a lot the last few years, but this year has been full of travel. So I went to India, which was a bucket list trip for me for my entire life. And India is the birthplace place of yoga. And it's interesting. They practice yoga there a little differently. It's more of a mindful practice. Um, but what I did see there, which was profound, and we went to some of the most spiritual places and some of the poorest places. Not all of India is, but the people there, even those that had very little, were at peace in their lives and were happy in their lives because they had this connection to their themselves and this deep, not religious. Yoga is not a religion at all. I want people to understand this. It's just this connection to what is this? This divine or whatever you want to call it, this what makes you breathe and live, this unseen thing, and they were so happy in their lives. And that really
This was
resonated with
India, you
me.
said? Was this in India?
This was India. So I
So
was in India the end of February, beginning of March. Then I was in Sedona teaching at the Yoga Festival. And then I also lead retreats, and I'm bringing a group to Portugal the beginning of June. And I have some future retreats coming up, which are not concrete yet. So people can follow me on my Instagram, which is Fern Khan or Dancing Lion Studio, and reach out and I can share. But I do lead retreats that's a little bit yoga, but also just exploring the world with a group and just seeing things in a way that maybe is a little bit differently. It's fun. It's a little touristy too. But then I also offer yoga each day. It's optional. You can just sit in by the pool if you want to. But I'll be leading retreats. Portugal is the one that's coming up. We also do little mini retreats here, either in the studio or locally. So I'll have information to share about that. So
well, Fern, I
that's
think
my
that's
big
interesting what you touched on there is that,
what's
you
that?
know, I mean, in India, were these poor people that you saw that were just so at peace because they were doing yoga?
Well, it's not that they were doing yoga, it's the philosophy that is deeply ingrained in their lives, which, unless you know, you don't know. And I guess some people have it if they're religious and their religion brings peace to them. But I'm very careful to say that, we have people of all religions, races, creeds, denominations coming to yoga, and I never usurp or overstep a person's belief, because this is beyond that. This is more of, finding peace within yourself and what
You know
something
what? That's what
is.
I found too. That's exactly what I found. I've lived abroad in like Panama. I traveled a lot,
Right,
especially last year, going to Romania and seeing
right.
people that had much less than we have here in the United
Hmm.
States, yet they were so happy, you know?
And
And then there's
it's
people here in the United States that feel sorry for them, but I'm like, well, they look pretty happy to me, you know?
well,
So it's
I mean,
I
we can
started
go on about that, and that's
I
a
started
whole
thinking
kind
it's
of
all
conversation.
perspective. Do you
It's
think
all
so?
perspective. It's, whew, we can do a whole other podcast on that.
Yeah.
But for me is whatever lot in life you have, whether you are wealthy, whether you are poor. I don't. It's not a transactional thing. I think that most people have had some kind of trauma or something happen, and it doesn't have to be a big thing, right? Like what I've been through with breast cancer or anything. You cannot go through life without having something that weighs heavy on your heart. And then we have a choice of how to go through life. Either it makes us hard or it makes us angry, or, we keep going back to it. We love to hold on to drama. I say this all the time because there actually is a physiological response to, oh, that person did this to me, and it becomes your story, and we hold on to that. And then you're only doing yourself harm by keeping that story. And a lot of us do it. I was guilty of it. The philosophy that I teach and the yogic philosophy really allows us to see our thoughts and the way that we're moving through life so that we can unravel, whether it be just unhappy with the service at a restaurant you're at. People are like that, right? They get uptight about that, and that's just the way they are. Or you have real troubles in your life. And it's not to say that I weigh any one more than the other. If it's a trouble to you, it's a trouble to you. You're allowed to feel that way. But why feel that way? Why go through life with just complaining or heaviness? Or, especially here in South Florida, we live in paradise, but yet still people find things to complain about. It's not to diminish that. You're allowed to have that. But why?
Yeah.
Why can't you reconcile that? Just take a little moment of gratitude. And we throw that around, that word, and I don't mean to really, but we should.
Yeah.
Like, I always remind my clients, when I meet them, I say, what good happened this week? Because they come in ready to tell me the bad. They'll have a whole list, right? And I'll say, so and so, tell me something good that happened this week. And I have to sit and think. And it never fails. I'm like, you have to sit and think for one good thing because we don't see it, right? We don't see it. I will ask anybody watching this just to be quiet for a moment. Let's take a deep breath. Let's all close our eyes for 1 second and take a deep breath and let it go. And first of all, just feel that little bit of softness, and then just sit with your eyes closed and just think about one good thing or something that brought you joy this week. What is it, Thursday? And notice how you have to kind of rummage. So open your eyes, and if you could do that, what it does, it reminds your nervous system that good things can happen, and then you begin to see them and you begin to attach to them, and your whole perspective changes. You're not cranky. You're not going to lash out at people, right? So this is a mindset shift. People don't really learn. You don't learn emotional intelligence. In fact, we know people that we knew back in high school that were bullies and cranky, and they haven't done any work on themselves, and they're still bullies as adults. I see this all the time. We're not taught how to up level our emotional intelligence. This is work. We call this the work of the yogis, to look within, to see maybe where you messed up, right? And take ownership, to figure out what thoughts are not working for us anymore. This is not something that we learn. You have to learn how to do this, how to shift the narrative, see where your heart is instead of maybe people telling you where it should be. And it takes work. It's not the work for the weak. You need to be brave to do this self-reflection. It's hard, but if you want to have better relationships, move past relationships that are not working, have closer connections, to have love in your life and love yourself. We say things to ourselves we would never say to anyone else, right? Like really horrible things. But I love this quote. Every cell in our body eavesdrops on our thoughts. So we are so careful about being, eating organic food and drinking clear water, but what about our own thoughts that are toxic? Literally, we
Right.
can bring dis-ease into our body. So this is part of what I do using the yoga philosophy, modern coaching techniques, as well as my own life experience where I've done things wrong, right? And figured out a way to self-regulate and navigate and up level my game, right? To show up in a better way. And I think that we all need to.
I agree. I agree. Now, I have one last
So,
question for you, Fern.
okay.
When will you have reached your goals? Have you set goals each
Oh
year?
my gosh. You know what? I said gold. I'm a worker bee. People say that about me all the time. I'm like the hardest worker they've ever met. So I'm always setting new goals. I think that, the more you learn about yoga specifically, the more you realize you don't know. So I'm always doing classes there. I want to speak around the world. I want to, there's nothing, the sky's the limit. I never want to stop doing what I'm doing. One of my goals is my daughter is getting married next Saturday. I'm just over the moon.
Oh,
And
my
to
daughter got
see
married
her.
last Saturday.
Oh, that's so amazing. So I have a beautiful daughter, one child, and she's getting married May 4th. And I want to be, I'm so grateful to be present for that. Um, you know what, Tracy? The sky is the limit. There's no end. I just have so much that I want to do and so much in my heart. And um, yeah, I
Well,
can't
listen,
answer that.
you have this wonderful yoga studio, but for people that aren't here close,
Yes,
is there a way that people all over the world can do it? I noticed yesterday in the class you had like a little
yes,
computer there, like there were some people watching that were on it doing it.
yes.
Like,
So for reminding me, I always
can
forget that.
people?
So yes, so they can reach out to me either on my Facebook page or my email, dancinglionstudio@gmail.com, really easy. We do offer all of our classes on Zoom, and it's amazing because Florida is pretty transient. So a lot of my students go back somewhere. They'll tune in. I've had people tune in from a cruise ship out at sea, people from New York and California across the country. And as well, as I mentioned, I do offer my coaching and my online platforms via Zoom. I'm also going to be launching a little speakers program where I collaborate with other wellness professionals all over the world. You get to tune in and hear from not just me. I lead my teacher trainings online as well. So I'm out there, and my goal is to spread this message all over the world in whatever way I can. And technology is complicated sometimes, but I'm
Well,
figuring
listen,
it out.
can you give any special treatment to anybody that calls or messages you or signs up and
Yes.
wants to do your classes with
So
you? Say, "Meet Tracy."
if you follow my personal Instagram today, and I'll be able to see it today, it's FERNLCONN. I'll be able to see, and you direct message me. I'm doing a little summer coaching program, a little 4-session program for free to any of your followers today, anybody that sees this, this will be available until next Saturday, May 4th, the day my daughter gets married. So if you follow me, you direct message me, I'm going to put together the link for free. You get my
Good deal, you
coaching,
guys. That's a deal. I'm telling you.
inspiring thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it is the deal of the
Your
day,
life.
and I will give you little tips on how to, do little mindset shifts. We'll do some meditation together. It is uplifting. You get to meet other people on these Zoom calls who are all like-minded. It's non-intimidating. I make you feel good. I send all kinds of stuff to you. Like I'm a bookworm, so I'm always sending articles to people. But yeah, this is for free, guys. Follow me on Instagram, engage, tell me who you are. I'll be putting together this beautiful program to kind of, little summer program. And it's my gift and it's an honor to really be able to share these things. I'm just so grateful to be here. I'll have to have you come on my podcast when I get
Yes,
that going
for
again. And
sure.
you can find that on Spotify, Apple. It's called Flourish with Fern. I interviewed Sean Johnson, who's an amazing musician, and Tracy Stanley, who's a well-known yogi. So there's great stuff to hear on there now. But I also want to uplift people in the community that are doing good things.
Well,
Whoo!
wonderful. This
I
is
was just talking.
so if they go to repeat, if they go to
Yeah.
Instagram and type in
Yeah,
Fern,
my name. So it's my name, Fern, Fern, middle initial L, Conn. So it's Fern L. Con. You'll ask to follow me. I will, or just follow me. And you can direct message me, or I just will see who follows me over the next few days. And I will get your email at that point and then send you the Zoom link
great.
to
Oh,
opt
thank you,
into
Fern.
this
That's a
program.
great offer. Thank you so much. Well, it's
And
a
those are
blessing
little.
meeting you and having you here today. Thank you so
Oh,
much
I love it. And
for sharing your
you
story.
are a radiant light. And we've gone out socially as well, and we always have a great time. It's um, so beautiful to be around you as well. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and it's been a pleasure, really.
You guys, thanks for tuning into the Being Tracy show. Like I said, reach out to me if you want more. If you want to do an interview like this with me, see, I can do it with people all over the world now that I'm on StreamYard, and I'll put a link down in below and let you know how you can get StreamYard if you want to. Or if you want to work with me, I'm going to put my contact information as well. And so please like us on when you see this posted
Yes.
on YouTube. If you like it, any emotion you can give it, like post beneath it what you think, what you liked about
Give
it,
some feedback too about what we shared. Does it
or if
resonate
you
with
didn't like it,
you?
tell us what you didn't like. And but subscribe to our
Awesome.
channel, my channel, and just let me know how we can work together. I'm or what I can get for you, what more information you want, because I'm here to share
Awesome.
this part in my life. My kids are grown
Same,
up,
same, same.
not married yet again, but I will be. I'm manifesting that. But
Same here. So,
yeah,
and you know what I love to do? It's women need to support other women. And I believe in abundance, and I believe there's enough to go around. And I believe in that once we all uplift each other, that everybody wins. And I'm very, very conscious of that. I belong to a lot of women's groups and stuff like that. So this is really important to share in this way.
it
Thank you,
is.
Tracy.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Sending you lots of love. Bye bye. Bye, Fern. Nice to
Bye.
see you today.
You too.